What's going on, guys? Welcome to JHouze Radio, episode 22, with your boy K to the J and Los. We have a special guest today, Pyjama Mama, aka PJ. She is a streamer slash content creator on Mixer, soon to be Twitch. Say what's up to the people, PJ. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? I feel like I should actually get my camera going now.
I mean, you don't have to. It's all good. I mean, I've seen people.
To the ambiance.
There, right?
I will not disagree with the lady.
Yeah. So today we're gonna do our episode a little different. We have our first guest on the show, and we're gonna be talking about content creation and streaming, and women who basically work in that field, basically, and like some of the struggles and things that they go to. I mean, that they go through, basically. So PG, let's just start off with you just telling everybody about yourself a little bit. How did you get into streaming, gaming, and all that other good stuff like that?
Well, I've been gaming since 2011-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, 2011. So I'm kind of late compared to a lot of the other gamers out there, to be honest.
Yeah.
What is it? I started gaming back when I moved in with, at the time was my boyfriend. He's now my husband.
Okay.
He kept stealing the TV, and when we first started dating, he was like, I play Xbox, so you can't take that from me. And I said, that's fine. I don't care. That's your hobby. It's no different than a sport to me. You're fine.
Yeah.
And then when we moved in together, he kept stealing the TV to play his games, and he was also an employee at GameStop. So he used to claim that playing games was research for work.
I could see that being research, honestly. I mean, you have to give your honest opinion about a game.
And he would actually we ended up buying all the different types of consoles because at his job he really wanted to be the person that you can come to about anything, rather than, well, I don't really play PlayStation, but you can talk to him, and that guy's like busy helping a different customer, you know.
I like that excuse.
He really did want to do everything. I know that is his excuse, but it worked for him. And so one day, I said, "Do you want to teach me how to do this?" And he did. We started. It was back on the 360, and we started with indie games. Which, by the way, I miss the indie games that the 360 had. Do you guys remember those like dollar games?
Oh,
and
yeah.
They would be like top-down twin stick shooters. Some were side. Oh, they were amazing. There was one, or I can name like probably 5 of them that really helps me like understand the 2 different sticks at the same time. You know, the toggle sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I think you're ready for like a first-person shooter. And I was like, well, what are we gonna do? And he goes, if you're gonna start with a first-person shooter, as a gamer, you have to start with Halo.
Yes.
And so that's what we did.
One of the best games of all time. I love Halo.
I can't get into first-person shooters. I can't.
Yeah, no, Los doesn't like them too much.
I like that third-person perspective.
Yeah. I like first-person shooters because they have like that immersion into the game, because everything's like right there in front of you, basically. So that's what I always liked about it, honestly. But like the whole
my dyslexia kicks in, and when I want to go right, I'm going like, backwards. So that's why I don't like first. But I can play Gears. That's the only first-person shooter I can play.
Well, that one's third person.
Gears was third.
Yeah, that's third person.
Gears is the third-person cover-based shooter, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Gears is third. Yeah, no wonder I could play it.
That explains everything. So
camera on. Okay, you're gonna have that side thing, but we're just gonna have to deal with it.
It's all good. Where did the whole streaming aspect start to come into the picture? Like, what made you get into streaming?
In the month of December, Monster Hunters was about to come out, and we had a buddy. He pops into my stream every now and then.
Okay.
Beast mode, but he was talking about how his like cousin or his brother was streaming and how he wanted to get into streaming, and I knew that streaming was like watching people play games, and I never thought that, like, who does that, you know?
Yeah, I thought that same thing too.
he was like, surprisingly, a lot of people do, And then I was like, I couldn't do that because I don't like backseat gamers, and to have, thousands of people watching me backseat gaming, just judging my every movement, I couldn't do it. I don't want to do it. And I was actually kind of skeptical at the time, and sometimes I wouldn't even play with people while they were streaming because I would get so nervous.
Yeah.
But the Xbox One actually has Mixer on it, and one day while scrolling through, I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what streaming is. And then I was like looking at the different streams, and I saw a lot of the cool overlays, and there was a Mixer streamer, a female that I had stumbled upon, and I'm not going to name her because I'm about to slander her.
Oh, buddy.
She was god awful. It was hard for me to watch because I'm so sweaty with gaming. You know what I mean?
Okay.
At the time, it was Blackout that I was watching, and she was very busty and made it a point to always like take her hair and like fix it, but would like make sure she went around.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
she would take her hand off the controller to fix her hair. Like, hey, remember, I got boobs. Remember these? And I was, like, infuriated. But I saw, like, all these people talking to her. And I was like, how are people... Obviously, they want that attention. Like, that's crazy. And then my husband started talking to me about Twitch thoughts. And then, which I just thought was a term, like, I thought it was a name people called something, because the only thing I knew about Twitch was Twitch thoughts, and I heard about it from Reddit.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know Twitch was a thing.
I love Reddit.
And
yeah, Los is
my
like,
husband was really
he
into
loves
Reddit.
it.
I haven't got into Reddit yet. I'm not quite there yet, but I will be someday. Right now, I'm just getting into the Twitter universe and diving more into that. Before, I was very into Instagram.
If you get into Reddit, it's great because they have subreddits on every subject. So whether you're into gardening, gaming, or something else, it's there. That's kind of why I like it, because you can get information about everything.
Yeah, I need to check it out. I have so much stuff going on with Twitter and Instagram that I'm like, man, I gotta download a new like social platform to try to learn that. And like the whole barrier to entry thing is kind of like pushing me away a little bit because I have to learn it, and there's so much happening there, and I just don't know if I have like the patience right now to learn something totally new. So
it's easy.
I know it's great because you can contact devs through it. I know that a lot of people are talking about like for games, if you do have like some issues and stuff like that, you can contact devs. That's also where the Apex devs called people that play Apex for free and don't spend any money asshat. So that's fun.
In your opinion, from a woman's perspective, why do you think a lot of people don't take women serious when it comes to gaming? Like, just because it's been dominated by men for so long, or do you think it's just that people just still have a hard time finding a woman who actually knows what they're doing in a game? Like, I don't know. Like,
I think kind of both. I think that some people still think that it is a man's world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that this is, and I mean, most of the time, most of the time, the guys that I run into have been gaming longer than me. But just because you've been gaming longer doesn't mean you're better.
Yeah.
And I think that's a tough pill for some people to swallow. But I also feel that like it's just like, this is my thing, get away. And maybe I feel this. Some guys get so much flack from women about Xbox. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get off that. Oh, you're always playing video games, stuff like that. Maybe it's like, this is my free time. This is my free space. I don't want to deal with drama.
Yeah.
And that stereotype of women that just like talk, or the stereotypical gamer girl that's like ditzy and just like, oh my god.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's just not who I am.
I've always found the term gamer girl funny because there are actual gamer girls and there are girls who like play Candy Crush and like, oh, I'm such a gamer. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You play Candy Crush. You're not a gamer.
There was and I know that KJ likes Overwatch, so I'm not putting down the game Overwatch, but there was a lot of girls on Tinder, and in their bio it'd be like, I'm a gamer, and then I would message them and I'd be like, oh yeah, what do you play? And like me, I'm a very sweaty, very serious, like competitive type gamer,
Yeah.
and they're like, Overwatch, and I'm like, oh yeah, any others? They're like, no, I play Candy Crush.
I mean, but then again, you do have like your people who game and they just have like their one or two games that they just stick to. You know what I mean? So that could just be a
I
possibility.
think people kind of just stick to one or two games at a time, because eventually, no matter how much you love a game, you're like, yeah, I'm sick of it. You know, I'm gonna go play something else.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Because anyone who like, I'm not an avid gamer, but if you ask me to name my top 10 games, I could go through it. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So I just kind of think. Well, my question is for you: is do you think a lot of these guys who are acting out, it's more of an insecurity in them?
Yes.
Or just they're being childish, or they're just a child.
Yeah. So a lot of them, surprisingly, I get more discrimination and hate from adult males, or at least what sounds like adult males, versus kids. Whenever I get a kid, it's not it's not discrimination. It's more like horny little teen. Oh my god, it's a girl, let's be best friends. And then they spam you for 20 minutes straight, and you just get that Xbox like notification a million times to where it like crashes your Xbox.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've literally had that happen before. I had a group of like 11-year-olds, and I didn't care, because I was like, they're kids, so you can play with them, and I have brothers and sisters that are younger than me. Like, I can do this, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was like, I would turn on my Xbox, because at the time I ran my cable through my Xbox, so I turned on the Xbox to watch Food Network, and I just keep getting spammed like party invites, and then I would message them like, I'm not playing right now, and then it's message. Are you playing now?
Play with me.
What are you gonna play? Like, what game are you gonna play? Can I play with you? I have a whole team, we can play together. And I'm like, I just don't want to. And so then I end up creating a rule of like, I just don't play with kids.
I think it's also the fact that people get so used to, like, people are so used to seeing men and boys playing video games that the minute they hear a girl in chat or a girl in team chat, they just get overwhelmed, like, holy crap, like, that doesn't happen that often. So they get kind of excited about it. So I think it's just the fact that it doesn't happen that often. Well, used to not happen that often. I think that's why they act like that. Now it's almost normal to get into a game and you have a girl playing, because just like you said with the stats, you have more women gaming and streaming. Actually, I think there might be more women streaming than guys. Actually, if you really look at Twitch or Mixer, if you look at their like their front page, you will probably see more women streaming on there than men. You know,
I will agree that that's true, but unfortunately, it's kind of like the booby girl that you were talking about previously. I think a lot of them are just like, oh my god, like, I'm such a gamer.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them are trying to just kind of like earn money and get followers, you know, just kind of like showing cleavage to little kids, really, because an adult hopefully wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna
sub to you because of your assets.
Just because you're more mature. No, whatever.
Yeah, I feel you.
I kind of feel like real gamer girls are generally in a category all of their own, and they don't care about all that little silly nonsense of like, oh, look at me, I'm so pretty. It's just ponytail, controller, let's go play. 9 out of 10 times. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no. I was actually gonna say there was a thing on Reddit. Now this is secondhand information for me, because it was from my husband, but he always talks to me about gaming stuff. There was a Reddit thing, and there was actually a huge thing on Twitter, and stuff like that, about Twitch male streamers being fed up with female streamers, because there are these thoughts that are just out there to give like kind of lonely guys that girlfriend experience or stealing the
Oh
game
yeah.
viewers from them, and they're like, you're not even a serious streamer, just go to OnlyFans. Why are you here? You're not even playing the game. Which is also why like a lot of people ended up leaving Twitch because they felt like they couldn't make it anywhere because it was so saturated with female gamers that weren't taking gaming serious. But a lot of people liked Twitch because you didn't have to go for games, whereas like Mixer was very much a very game heavy streaming platform.
Yeah.
From what
I mean, I can kind of understand whatever men or content creators are saying. I can kind of understand that because it's like you do have people who are busting their ass on their stream, whether they're doing a cooking stream, a DJ stream, painting, anything, and then you have certain women, even guys. There's some guys that do it too. I'm not going to only put it on just women, but you have certain creators who are just trying to use their body to sell their to like sell their stream, and it sucks because you're not really putting in any work. You're just putting on a tight shirt and you're saying, hey, subscribe to me, pay me, donate to me, follow me, watch me, compared to another person who's putting in that work and say, hey, listen, I'm creating some actual content here for the people. So I get where the aggravation comes from, but that's just comes with the territory.
I found the statistic actually. It says that I don't know when this was though. But
Okay.
it sucks. Well, it was updated February 18th, but it says that gaming is generally a male-dominated industry. For 18.5% of Twitch is apparently female.
Wow, just 18?
Yeah, that's what this says.
Hmm.
It also says that 71% of Twitch users are millennials.
I believe that.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
Which, clarification for everybody, as far as I know, millennials is like 1995. I think is the last millennial.
Is that
something like that?
Okay?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people
95,
think the
96.
generation afterwards, the Tide Pod eaters are millennials, and Tide Pod eaters are not millennials. I want to put that out there.
Yeah, that's Gen Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that
but the average age is 21 on Twitch.
I can definitely see that for sure. I mean, it seems like streaming, when after you get to a certain age, either you stop doing it or you evolve your content and move over to YouTube. Streaming is, I don't really want to say it's a young man's game, but it is primarily dominated by people who are at least 30 something and younger. It's rare that you see like a 50, 40.
No, actually, I've worked with a lot of people who do a lot of streaming, and streaming is it's a niche market. Like there are woodworkers, and you think woodworkers, okay, that's older people in general, and they have like millions and millions of views, and they're woodworkers. It's very, very niche.
Yeah.
The problem with a lot of the perception of streaming is people naturally assume it's kids and games, and a lot of times it's not. It's more adults who are doing things, and they're doing things either A, for fun, or B, they're really trying to market themselves for things.
Exactly.
But streaming is such a niche market that you have to understand. Like there are people who have millions of views just from like doing sushi.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true. And YouTube is wonderful as it is to be a platform. Even that's starting to get oversaturated with people who are with copycats. I want to be like so and so I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I don't know. YouTube is mature in one way and not in others. Because people who really invest the time, like learn how to edit, look for music, do things properly.
Yeah.
And I think that streaming in the gaming world, it's more really about, like, a real gamer is more about skill. You want to see how they play, and maybe you'll learn something by watching them.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Just as far as game streaming, when I've found through watching other gamers that not everybody they might be a game central stream, but they might not focus on the game.
Yeah.
I have a
What do you
few
mean?
friends that in the middle of a match, like an Apex match where it's a battle royale, we're all trying to get first place, you know, it's like the Hunger Games out there. And in the middle of a match, they stopped and talked to chat and decided they like AFK, hands off keyboard, and they stopped playing the game so that they can interact, dance with chat, and like do all this stuff. Like the game didn't matter. And then they also made a point of telling their viewers, I don't care about the game, I'm here for you. Where me, I am different with my personal stream, where I'm like, I want to provide you content, but also hang out with you. I want to be the place that you can come talk about, you know, what 343 is up to and what they're changing in this new upcoming Call of Duty. I want you to come talk about the things that people found when they were data mining games, trying to find out like teasers for the next one. That's something that I talk about, like with Apex, is I am always like, hey, a data miner found this leaked image or this, and what do you think that this is gonna happen? And I want to actually talk about games, but not every. Some people are there because like I know someone that centers their channel or a lot around mental health. You know, and gaming's the side project, where me, I'm like, I want gaming to be the forefront, but that's also because I'm a female and I feel that females are put to be those ditzy gamers, and I am not a ditzy gamer, so you will not find me like putting down the controller to talk to chat.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I think that's the good thing. I think that's the good thing about streaming now, is that being for the fact that it is so oversaturated. Like when it first came out, it was just about the games. You know, everybody's playing games. You want to see the most high performance gameplay from like Ninja or Shroud and all that stuff like that. Like those guys are focused on the game. But being that it's getting so oversaturated now, like you said, you find streamers who the gameplay comes second. You know, they're here to talk to people. They're here to hang out with people. And nowadays, with mental health being at the height that it is, you find a lot of people going into chat, talking to streamers and talking to people in chat. That's their social interaction. You know, I mean, a lot of people don't have friends, and they look to go to these streams because they look at these streamers, they look at their community as friends. You know, like that's where streaming is now. And I was talking to somebody about that the other day when they found out that I was streaming. Like, oh, you just play video games? Like, yeah, that's part of it. But it's I also do a podcast on there. I also do, commentary where we talk about upcoming games, where we talk about politics, and streaming has got, I mean, hell, just the other day, last week, NASA was on Twitch, and we saw the rocket launch live on Twitch. So yo, that was awesome. It was live. Like it was also the most scariest thing in the world, because if something would have happened wrong, that would have been live on Twitch, that something happened. So these streaming platforms are it's more than just game. It's more than just games. It's content. It's everything you can think of. It's cooking, it's painting, it's, people talking about social issues, people talk about mental health. It's everything. It's pretty much what YouTube is what all these streaming content, all these streaming platforms are trying to become. They're trying to become a video streaming service of just different content, period. And you pick your poison. If you want to watch games, go watch somebody who only plays games. If you want to watch like somebody who does everything, like a variety content creator, go watch that person. So, but I want to segue, since we're talking about platforms. PJ, currently, you've been streaming on Mixer for what, 2 years now? I think a year.
No, a year and a half almost. Yeah, a year and a half actually. Yep.
And recently she's made her announcement that she's moving over to Twitch, and I'm just wanting to get your perspective on what made you go from Mixer to decide to go to Twitch, especially after you said you felt like you got a lot of like negative comments about female gamers on Twitch. What made you change your mind about that?
So it was a hard decision for me. I know that anybody that has been in my stream, I haven't always talked highly of female Twitch streamers. Not all, but just the ditzy ones, and I never wanted to be associated with that, and I felt like the Mixer community tried to really stray away from it, which was one of my favorite things about it. I started on Mixer, like I told you earlier, because it was on the Xbox. And I didn't know what Twitch was.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? But I tried Restream because a lot of people were like, well, why not Twitch? Why not Twitch? As soon as I started streaming and I started to get like people in chat and stuff. And I was like, well, because I'm here on Mixer. Because I already got you following me here. Why do I need you following me there?
Yeah.
I don't need to be there. One day Mixer was having some issues and nobody could sign in. And I wanted to stream because it was my fun new hobby.
Yeah.
And so I decided to give Twitch a try, and I tried it. My first day, I had 9 viewers, and I was making more progress on Twitch than I did Mixer, but I already had like 5 mods. I had like 7 concurrent, like everyday viewers on Mixer, and I was doing Restream. I think like 2 months later, I tried out Restream because I found out about it. And when I found out that with affiliate, you couldn't release your content until 24 hours after your stream, I didn't like that. I was like, so if I make it anywhere on Twitch, I have to either say like Mondays is for Mixer and Tuesdays is for Twitch, which then I'm dividing my time between my communities, which is not fair to my communities, you know?
Yeah.
To just give them half the effort. And I didn't want to leave what I had already started on Mixer for nothing on Twitch. Recently, we have a Mixer team on Mixer, or stream team on Mixer, and we were starting to grow, and then all of a sudden, I know you were restreaming, and then Cryptic had left over, and he got affiliate. And then when he got it, Deadman started streaming, and he went to Twitch because he's like friends with Cryptic and stuff. And then Adams went over, and then you're like you were half and half. And then I was like, well, where is everybody? And then on Twitter, I would see partner. Oh, I'm a partner. I'm a partner. I'm a partner. Like everybody left and right getting partnered, but also everybody left and right moving over to Twitch, and I didn't understand it. And so then I started looking at these people, and it was people like 4,000 followers, 8,000 followers, 65 concurrent plus viewers, and I'm like, why are you switching?
Yeah.
And I talked to them, and some of them were just like, I couldn't do much for Mixer. Like, I applied and I got denied because of this. And so I fixed it, but then I got denied because of this. And I'm just tired of waiting 3 months to get denied again. And I have to create a Patreon to have some sort of support for all the like giveaways and stuff like that you do as a streamer to try and draw people in,
Yeah.
But then, as you know, or as you may have noticed, is lately I've been branching out more. With Mixer, I felt very put in this box. Like I had people that started watching me because of Apex, and then if I tried anything else, I literally went from 10 viewers to 0.
Yeah.
It was like me and my bot watching, all because it was a game. Which I know a lot of people are like, well, in time you'll grow community and then they'll follow you, but that's very disheartening as a streamer to have 10 people and then they're like, oh, where's Apex? Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna leave now, and then they leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh wow. So I felt like I couldn't branch out to anything, and I mean, I have been branching out to more things, and I've kind of got the like fuck it mentality of like, you're supposed to be here for me, and if you're not, then that's fine. I'll just find someone that's here for me and not for Apex,
Yeah.
But as you can see on Twitch, there's a lot better exposure for playing other games. On Mixer, if you're not playing battle royales, you're not making it. If you're not like, and then even if you are stuck in that battle royale box, you're still up against every other person that's like, all right, well, I guess battle royales it is,
Yeah.
So if you want notice, you have to join a crowd of thousands, and if you want to play a different game, then you're going to be scrolled way down at the bottom of the game list. So either way, you're at the bottom of the list, and it's disheartening at times, you know?
I have a couple of questions about your audience.
Okay.
Do you have any statistics as far as age range and or sex of your audience?
I don't have statistics, but I can tell you just like based off of observation, that I have mostly males. A lot of mine are mostly parents too.
Yeah.
I have quite a bit of parents. I have quite a bit of males. I do have some females, mostly parents as well. And then what is it? I don't allow kids, so I don't have anybody under 18.
Okay.
I know that talking to people, I would say I have like a 21 to like maybe 40 range.
I want to ask you a question about the name Pyjama Mama.
Okay.
So, do you also like lean into the branding of Pyjama Mama and wear pajamas when you stream? Or
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I really
my
do. So
question
I
is-
started off doing it, and it's funny. I don't know if you're watching cameras, but I'm literally wearing pajamas right now.
My girlfriend has the same ones.
Really?
She has the same pajamas.
There we go.
Yeah,
She's already part of the
I
crew.
started off couch gaming, and it was off the couch. I didn't have the chair, and so people saw my pants a lot. And so I remember when I first started streaming, I told you I've taken it serious from day one. And I didn't have a cam at first, but then we did have our Connect, and we ended up plugging it in. Probably the first I ended up using my camera. And yes, I did end up getting a lot more views once I got a camera.
Yeah.
And I made sure that I always had pajamas on. It was a thing. And I used to tell my husband it was 7:50, and I said, "Hey, I need to go get ready for work." And then I would come downstairs with like jammies on, like just these baggy sweatpants, and like at the time I only wore I wore gaming tees because, like I said, my husband used to work at GameStop, so I had a lot of like I have an MW3 shirt. We had a LA Noir shirt. It's an old game.
I
Mass
actually
Effect,
heard of
stuff
that
like
game.
Oh yeah.
I heard of that
It's
game.
not a good shirt that I had though, because it's a shirt of like this girl dead with her head up against like a steering wheel. But it was a shirt that I had, and it was a game, and I wanted to wear gaming stuff because I was a gamer, you know. But I used to always say like, you know, I'm getting ready for work, gotta get my work clothes on.
How many people can say that and put PJs
Yeah.
on for their work clothes?
I know that's my favorite part of it. It's like I literally wear pajamas to work. But then I actually started to buy the collared. My husband, for our anniversary, he got me my first collared pajama shirt, and
Like
I
a men's style
loved it.
pajama shirt?
Yeah, you know, like the collar button down, and that was my first one that he got. I wore it the other night, and it's gonna have to be retired because the buttons are coming loose, and I am not losing my channel over a wardrobe.
Yeah, don't want to do
Stitch
that.
Velcro on them. Seriously, sew Velcro on them because Velcro is more secure.
Oh, hold on, chat. Hold on. Well, you guys can finish
Good
talking.
tips.
Yeah.
But what was it? We had this. Oh yeah, I got those, and I had like that pair, and then Walmart ended up having like a lot of them for their like $15, and so I just have started to accumulate pajamas, and then the other like about a month or two, I got all excited, and I came home and I started streaming. I was like, guys, we got new clothes, and I like show them off, and I'm like, fashion show, like check it out. So I mean, I like it, and then I also have onesie pajamas. For Halloween last year, I decided not to buy a costume. I don't know if you have kids, Los, but
No kids.
a big trend in kids for Halloween is buying those onesie pajamas because they kind of like have the hood now as the costume, because then you're spending $20-$30 rather than $40 to $60.
Yeah.
And they get to wear it more than once, and it's much better quality too. Pajamas are better than costumes.
So my question is, do you you don't go for like the Ninja Turtle one or something else?
I have a Power Ranger one.
Yes, I love Power Rangers.
I have a pink Power Ranger. Yes, for Halloween, that's what we got. I got a pink Power Ranger. My husband got a red Power Ranger, and so that's what I wear for stream. It's people's absolute favorite um thing of mine. KJ, I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna post my new thing that I just drew today in our little chat that we have, our little group.
Okay.
But I drew this today because my community loves my Power Ranger pajamas, and
that's
so.
awesome.
I drew that because everybody likes my Power Rangers. But yeah, so I have that, and then I just bought a unicorn onesie because on Giphy.com, one of the like alerts that I have on stream is a girl dancing in a unicorn pajama. So I was like, well, I'm gonna need those.
I like that. That's pretty dope.
I got unicorns. They are so hot. So I have like 4 monitors, a PC. You know, all the streaming get up is a lot to just like radiate on you as you're gaming, and then I'm already like sweating in the game, which is making me physically sweat in real life. And so it's just too much. I literally have a fan right here to cool me down.
You know what you need to do is ice packs.
Ice packs? Really?
Ice packs. My brother's a cop, so sometimes he'll put ice packs underneath his vest. Because his vest, he gets so overheated, so you need to cool. So you could do that too.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm full of useless knowledge.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, that's true. But then again, my brother also sweats all day, so it probably doesn't notice.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one more. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I don't even know what I was gonna say.
I have one more question before we jump into our last topic. So, since you said you're switching over to Twitch, what are you planning on doing different with your branding, with your community, with your streams? What are you planning on doing different on this platform compared to what you did on Mixer? Because obviously, the audience on Twitch is a lot larger, and the audience is different. So, what are you doing to what do you plan on doing to change things, or are you just going to continue just to do things the way they are?
A little bit of both. So I've already rebranded a little.
Okay.
It's something that I've been debating on doing even on Mixer for a while.
Okay.
Pyjama Mama was taken, so I had to go with PajamaMamaIV. But the IV is like sentimental family stuff, so whatever.
Oh, I was reading it as 4.
Oh yeah, it is 4. Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
Roman number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is because it's my husband's lucky number and like all this other families. 4 bullshit. Yeah. So he's
lucky number 2, I'll have you know.
His favorite what was it? His gamer tag is Endress IV, so Endress 4.
Okay.
So that's why I ended up going with Pyjama Mama 4 because I just didn't have I couldn't get the original like I did on Mixer. I do get a lot of people ask me what happened to the other 3, and I said we don't talk about those hoes.
We don't talk about them. Oh man, you're hilarious.
So I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I am doing. My logo was made for me, graciously by a friend, as you know, or KJ knows, because friend. And when it was made for me, I didn't have a logo, so it was nice, and I used it. But I don't really like pink. I don't like purple and pink because it just screams like, "Hey, everybody, I'm a girl," and I feel like that's gonna give me negative attention. It's gonna make people think that I'm something I'm not. You know what I mean? But I know that like 2 seconds of my stream, and you'll find out if I'm not. But that and purple is my favorite color, and teal is my favorite color. So we are doing a color rechange. We are doing a name rechange. One of the biggest reasons why I'm doing just a full name rechange is because there are some platforms that I couldn't get just Pyjama Mama on. And so like my Twitter, my Instagram, my email, and my Twitch all have IV in it, even my gamer tag. So the only thing that doesn't have IV is my Mixer. So I was like, you know what? Let's full send, make it all one word so that when people say like, what's your gamer tag? I'm like, hey, Pyjama Mama IV, all one word on Steam, on Origin, on whatever. So I really want that continuity. So we are doing a brand rechange, or a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as far as community, I probably will be doing. I'll try and get my currency to be a little bit more active in
Okay.
Twitch than I was in Mixer. I just felt like in Mixer I didn't have as active of a chat community to really implement like a currency, and I also don't push games often, but I want to do something to make sure that people stay. But
Yeah.
for now, my Twitch community that I've ran into is my Mixer community that switched before me.
Okay.
So I haven't changed much, but it's also day 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I mean, definitely looking forward to it. You know, everybody who's in chat or listens to this on iTunes or YouTube, make sure you check out Pajama Mama IV on Twitch. With everything that's happening with the current pandemic and you know the protests, where do you see like the world going from here? You know, like with everything that's happening in 2020, like how do you think it's going to change? Like anything, whether it's streaming or just the way we live, like how do you think it's going to change
Are we
things going
talking
forward?
politics, or are we talking streaming? What are we talking
Anything,
about
you
here?
know, I mean, like it could be gaming, like let's just take it from that perspective. How do you think it's going to change gaming going forward, you know?
Well, I know that with COVID, we have seen a very big rise in streamers. A lot of people just like, hey, I don't have work, so might as well stream. So we did get a lot of rise in that. I'm hoping that people, as they jump back into their real lives, or even when they dabble in streaming, they see that it's more than just pressing a button. So I'm hoping that you get a lot more appreciation from people that think that this is just easy.
Yeah.
With the protests, I'm hoping that we really like, same with like the healthcare problems that we had, the deep rooted issues we had in the government. I'm hoping that we do end up seeing the reform that we need in the police system. I know that last time we had big protests like this, there was some reform done, not as much because there was more training.
A lot of it has to do with training.
Mm-hmm.
The military is not a good police force, and the police force is not a good military force.
Yes.
And when you force one to do the other, only complications can happen. Like I have protests literally 2 blocks from my house in every direction.
Yeah.
So I'm not thrilled about it because you have people who are looters who are looking for an opportunity to steal and use the protesters as an excuse, and that demeans the protesters who are actually trying to get change done.
Yeah.
And I just think it's just a very, very bad combination, and it really does depend on what part of the country that you live in that what happens. You know, when in the East Coast where you have more of a mixed community, it's a lot less violence, but it's also a lot more noise and a lot more attitude, but so much less violence. But when you live in a place that's more segregated, there's a lot more violence because there's a lot more fear because there's no, you're not exposed to someone, you know, and your only perspective of them is a stereotype that you learn from a movie or television show.
Yeah. I kind of find it interesting, something that you had just mentioned. You mentioned that you have observed that the East Coast has been a little bit more like louder but less violent, which I'd have to look at it, but I almost thought the opposite. So I'm West Coast born and raised, and I've lived in Washington, I've lived in Oregon, I've lived in California, and I've lived in Arizona. So I've lived like literally like it's West Coast. I fucking live there. So I've experienced a lot of different things, and for me growing up, I grew up in poverty. I was a child of the system, blah blah blah. I had like foster parents, but I was mainly in between my mother, which is poverty, and then my grandparents, which are older, and they're slightly racist, homophobic, like you would assume any other old white person is. You know what I mean? I not condoning it. I think it's wrong. I don't like Thanksgiving conversations. I don't go to them because we're military and we live far away. Thank God I don't go to them. But yeah, it is an understatement. I mean, my last Thanksgiving with my family, I am bisexual, part of the LGBT community, and I sat and heard nothing but homophobic nonsense the entire time while my closeted ass was like, okay, can we stop, please? I hate conversations with my family. Anyways, but aside from that, I haven't seen a lot. I grew up, or I claim Yuma, Arizona as my home, where and not that I was the minority, but it was very, very heavily Hispanic populated. We were literally 10 minutes from the border.
Okay.
However, our Black community, you could literally sit them all at one lunch table, I think, in my high school.
Wow.
And so, but I think because we had like we had, you know, a diversity kind of, it wasn't just everybody's white, you know?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of racism, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I got called a gringa, but that wasn't like ever really derogatory, you know what I mean?
No, sometimes it's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did get like peachy gringa, shut up, you know, like stuff like that, but you know, I probably should have shut up. So
yeah.
Well, depends on the situation.
But I also grew up in like my husband's family, where like his family is so mixed that he's got a Hispanic brother, a Black cousin, you know, his parents are white, like it's mixed. So they joke, you know, but it's never meant, I guess, mean.
Yeah.
Whereas my mom, who moved out to Tennessee, the community around her, instantly she was like, wow, they are racist as fuck out here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's the South, Mom. And then
I've been to
slowly
Texas,
after years of her like living there, I noticed a lot of it rubbing off on her. And
wow.
it was just like, and it was like subtle things where it was like, so I went to the grocery store, and when I walked in, there was this Black lady that was in line, and then I went to the back and I saw the meat, and it was on sale. Can you believe it was like 20 cents per pound? And I was like, why did you mention the Black lady in line, Mom? Where did that?
Yeah.
What did that have to do?
What does that have to do with the meat being on sale?
Did later? I'm waiting for the story. Like, why are we mentioning this lady when really all it was she existed? And I was like, Mom, you realize that is also racism. Like, that is also like.
Yeah.
You're just bringing attention to something that doesn't need.
The year 2020 was kind of ironic because it opened up a lot of people's eyes, you know, with everything that happened in COVID. And then on top of the fact that we have the riots happening, on top of the fact that we just had so much stuff happening within this 1 year, 2020 is going to be, it's going to go down in the history books as one of the craziest years of all time. You know what I mean?
I think 2020 is going to be in our kids' if not our kids' history books, our grandkids will.
Oh yeah.
2020.
Definitely.
2020 is going to be the equivalent of 1968, in my opinion, where you learn about the late 60s and revolution and everything else, and I think 2020 is the start of that.
Yeah.
For
I can
our
see that.
generation moving forward.
I can see that too, for sure. So. All right, well, before we get out of here, PJ, do you want to leave the people with anything? We usually at the end of our show just leave off with any recommendations about anything as far as content, whether it's a game you're playing, a show you're watching, or just something that you're like a hobby, anything. It's up to you.
Or what you're listening to music-wise.
Or if you want to plug any of your content, you can plug any of your content as well.
Who are you listening to?
Well, I listen to Sunshine Reggae. I listen to Iration, 311, Dirty Head, stuff like that. They're like Sublime, but not as poppy. I feel like Sublime's a little too poppy for me, I guess.
No.
I mean, I will listen to like some Bob Marley and stuff.
Sublime is more ska. Sublime is like the third wave of ska. I'm sorry, I'm a big ska and reggae fan.
No, I'm fine with that. Like, educate me. I'm fine with that. It's either that or I listen to like punk rock, like what all the emo scene kids would listen to. Those are like my two big genres that I go to.
Okay. And what about
We'll
you,
talk
Los?
music later one of these days. I'll hop
Oh,
on
yeah.
the stream and we'll talk music.
And what about
Yeah,
you,
right.
Los? Do you have anything you want to leave the people with before you get out of here, or?
Music wise, I'm kind of I'm about to release a new disco mix, so I'm kind of like digging more and more into disco,
Okay.
and I'm really digging Sylvester. I don't know if you guys know who Sylvester is.
No, who's that?
Sylvester was one of the first openly cross-dressing singers, and
Okay.
Sylvester sung so well as a woman that people didn't realize it was a man singing.
Wow, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out. Sylvester. Okay.
Oh hell yeah! You want to look for Disco Heat?
Okay.
Yeah, dance with me in Disco Heat. Yeah,
I'm gonna add that to
yeah.
my
I'll
listen
probably
check
send you the
out.
info, please.
Yeah, send it to me in Discord too. 'Cause I want to see that.
Yeah.
PJ, appreciate your time. Appreciate you stopping by for the episode. You're awesome. Everybody
Good to
who's
meet you. Thank you for everything.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
once
for
again,
having me.
everybody who's listening, make sure you check out Pajama Mama IV on Twitch
Or 4, you can say
or
either one.
4 on Twitch and all your social medias. All right, PJ, thank you again for your time. We will catch you later. Everybody else, peace out.
Have a wonderful day.